Hey guys, Alexis here from Avidly Alexis. I'm coming at you from my stepson's room because he's at his mom's and my husband's home watching TV loudly in the living room, and this is the only place that I can get some quiet. I am going to go through my August TBR pile, and there are 3 physical books, 2 Kindle books, and 9 Audible books. And I may change this up a little, it just depends, but for now, that's what I'm going with. So the first physical book is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, and I actually started this in July and didn't get to finish it. It's a buddy read with my cousin that I'm really excited to read with her. I'm on chapter 10. The problem I have with self-help books, motivational books like this, is that they feel really repetitive. So it's not something that I'm devoting a lot of time and energy into, but it is nice to find some quotes and glean some kind of motivational, message from. So I'll be excited to be done and be able to talk about it with my cousin and then move on to books that I prefer. The second physical book is a book of the month, so I'm really excited to read this because I'm really enjoying that program. It is Small Country by Gail Fay, and it's about a young boy growing up in Rwanda. He has a French father, a Rwandan mother, and it talks about the description says it's like it gives a very rich description of the happier times of his life, pre-war, pre-Civil War and genocide. So I'm really excited about that because I really like reading stories that have some reality to it. This is the author. This is what actually happened to him. So I really enjoy that, and I'm excited for this one. My third and final physical book that I plan to read this month is Jurassic World: The Evolution of Claire by Tess Sharp. I am so excited for this one. I am mildly obsessed with Jurassic Park and the whole Jurassic World. That universe is so awesome. So this book tells the story of Claire, who, if you haven't seen the movie, is the current director of the park. She does all of the running of the park on the ground, and in the first movie anyway. So this is the story of how she gets there. It's the story of her college life and then her internship and how she builds her way up to the top. So it's going to be really good. I'm so excited, and I really hope they keep making books like this. It looks pretty official. It has the little logo on it, so that seems pretty legit. For my Kindle, I don't really have pictures to show you, so you're just gonna have to look at me while I talk about it. I have Emma's Rose by Eric A. Shellman, which I also started last month, and I'm still kind of working through it. I just got my Kindle like 3 weeks ago, and I love it, by the way. So it's so pretty. So that book is a zombie book. It's about a man who goes to explore some caves in Romania, and he brings back a plant, like a rose-like plant, that then goes and infects the world. And I don't want to give away any details or anything, but that's where I'm at. I'm on like chapter 11 or something, so I'm going to finish that one up pretty quick. And then I have another Kindle book, The Dirty Book Club by Lacey Harrison, and this is another buddy book read I'm going to do with my cousin as soon as we finish the Badass, You Are a Badass book. We're going to start reading this one, and so it's about a woman who is a magazine editor, has a doctor boyfriend, a glamorous life in New York City, but then she's lonely, and her boss betrays her. Boyfriend offers her a completely new life in California. She trades in her New York life to move to California. And then she hangs out with this elderly neighbor. It sounds really interesting. So eventually the elderly neighbor leaves with her friends and leaves behind an invitation to this secret club, one that only reads erotic books. And so she's curious, and her and 3 other hand-selected members meet and start talking about these naughty bestsellers and enjoy reading and communicating and bonding through that. So it sounds interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I've never read anything like that, so it's going to be good. The rest of the books are all on Audible because I can listen to them at work and while I'm driving. My commute sucks right now, so this is all that's getting me through it, really. The first one is 12 Rules for Life by Norman Doidge. And so that's, again, another self-help book. I'm not really sure what I'm getting into with that one, but I'm just going to go for it and just listen and hope that some messages come through and I can get some benefit from it. The next 3 books are by Bill Bryson. They come in a collection in Audible, but they're technically 3 separate books. Notes from a Small Island, Neither Here Nor There, and I'm a Stranger Here. And they're all travel essays and just little notes from his travels. He's very famous for that. I don't know if anyone's read any of his stuff. 10 Women by Marcela Serrano. That book is one that I had gotten on a deal as a recently translated book. So for this one, 9 Chilean women from vastly different backgrounds have been brought together by their beloved therapist, Natasha, to talk about their lives and help each other heal. From a teenage computer whiz confronting her sexual identity to a middle-aged recluse who prefers the company of her dog over that of most humans, can't really blame her there, the women don't have much in common on the surface, and yet as they tell their stories, unlikely common threads are discovered, bonds are formed, and lives are transformed. So this sounds kind of good. Like, it's just women getting together and kind of putting aside differences to find what we have in common, and I think that sounds like a good one. The next one is Annihilation, Southern Reach by Jeff Vandermeer. And that one, if I remember right, is kind of like a sci-fi. Yeah, Area X has been cut off from the rest of the continent for decades. Nature has reclaimed the last vestiges of human civilization. The first expedition returned with reports of a pristine Edenic landscape. All the members of the second expedition committed suicide. The third expedition died in a hail of gunfire as its members turned on one another. The members of the 11th expedition returned as shadows of their former selves, and within months of their return, all had died of aggressive cancer. This is the 12th expedition. Their group is made up of 4 women, an anthropologist, a surveyor, a psychologist, the de facto leader, and a biologist. The de facto leader is the psychologist. And the biologist is our narrator. Their mission is to map the terrain and collect specimens, to record all their observations, scientific and otherwise, of their surroundings and of one another, and above all, to avoid being contaminated by Area X itself. I think that's all I need to read. They have more, but I like to leave it at that and keep it kind of a mystery. I think that I'm going to really enjoy that one. The next one is Hidden Figures, The American Dream, and the untold story of the Black women mathematicians who helped win the space race. I have not seen the movie yet, so I'm excited to read this book, and then I think that maybe I'll treat myself and order the movie to watch, or I think if it's free somewhere I'll watch it. But if you don't know about this, it's before John Glenn orbited the Earth or Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, a group of dedicated female mathematicians known as human computers used pencils, slide rules, and adding machines to calculate the numbers that would launch rockets and astronauts into space. Can I just say that is insane? I mean, that is such precise math the variables on that, the fact that any slight error could cause everyone to die. That's insane to me. So anyway, among these problem solvers were a group of exceptionally talented African American women, some of the brightest minds of their generation, originally relegated to teaching math in the South's segregated public schools. They were called into service during the labor shortages of World War II. So this is going to be all about them, and that is going to be so interesting. I've always wanted to read it and watch the movie since I saw that it existed. So super excited about that one. And then just for fun, because it's August, and I believe I read this book when I was in middle school, but it's been a long time and I don't actually remember if it's this book or one just like it. I'm reading The Meg by Steve Alton. So that one is going to be really fun. And if you don't know what it's about a megalodon, which is totally up my alley. Like Jaws, but Jurassic Park style. So that one's going to be fun. And then the final book on my Audible list is The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. And this one I am really excited to start. I'm starting with this one actually. I just downloaded it. So it's set in rural Montana in the early 1990s. Cameron Post feels a mix of guilt and relief when her parents die in a car accident. Just that sentence alone instantly makes me feel like, whoa. So she's feeling slightly relieved that her parents died? What's that about? So the reason is because she won't have to come out to them as gay. And so this is very interesting. She's orphaned now and then is going to live with her very old-fashioned grandmother and ultra-conservative Aunt Ruth. I feel like all the ultra-conservative aunts are named Ruth. That just seems like a trend. Sorry to any Aunt Ruths out there that aren't ultra-conservative. There she falls in love with her best friend, a beautiful cowgirl, but then she's eventually outed and her aunt sends her to God's Promise, a religious conversion camp that is supposed to cure her homosexuality. Whew. All right, that is interesting. So I am very happy about this month's list. Although I am as happy as I am also already compiling lists for September and October. But for now, this is my list, and I will do a wrap up at the end of the month to kind of let you know how I did on all those books. And I'm thinking, based on what I just read about, I am going to do a book buddy reading review with spoilers. This means I will be reading like 5 chapters and then posting up a video talking about the chapters, breaking it down, giving you my thoughts and opinions on that section of the book. I'm going to do it for The Dirty Book Club by Lacey Harrison, just because I feel like that one's going to be very interesting. And I think I'm going to do it for The Miseducation of Cameron Post. That one seems like it's going to have a lot of good talking points, and I would love to have feedback and hear from other people about it if they've read it. So if you have read these books already, awesome. I'd love for you to watch my videos. If you are wanting to read these books, look for those videos and we can read together. Or if you are looking at this at a later time, you can go back and watch my videos on them. All right, that is all for now. I am going to go kick my husband off the TV. Bye, guys.